Hi, everyone. Welcome to our webinar, which is how to make money from your art, even if you're not famous. I love that title. That's Kira's brainchild there, and I love it. So Aviatra, just a little teeny bit about us. We help women entrepreneurs start, grow, and fund their businesses so they can have sustainable and profitable companies built around their passion and their skills. And talking to artists, this is a common challenge to build something sustainable, a business that's sustainable around their talents, their creative talents. And so I met Kira and knew that she would be perfect to teach this content. And so I'm going to let her take it over now. But I did want to share at the end, we have this exciting new program called the Profitability Blueprint for Women Artists. I'm going to share a little bit about that at the end. So Kira, take it away.
Hi guys, so great to be here. I'm going to share my screen before I forget because we are artists and we have a million things going on in our brains and there's always something new to distract ourselves with. So let me go ahead. I'm sharing my computer audio and then I'm going to share Google Chrome. I want to share like one app though. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, I guess you can see that tab. Okay, great. Let me make her full screen. So happy you guys are here. Welcome. I am Kira. As Jill said, we met a little bit ago, and I just love that she has a community like this. Sorry, trying to present. There you go. Yeah. I love that she has a community like this. I think like as artists, we all need to have people in our corner to remind us because this is such a lonely process. And because there are people who doubt us a lot. So we need like fellow creatives to remind ourselves not only that we can do this, but that we can make money from it. And that's what this is all about. So I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it. So by the end of this, I want everyone here to have a clear, personalized map, basically, of the actions and the manifestations you need to use your creativity to make money. I'm not sure if you can see my bookmarks, but I'm gonna get rid of that. Okay. So guys, hi, I'm Kira again. So great to meet you guys. I know we're all different types of artists in here. For me personally, I'm a performing artist, and I actually just recently became a visual artist. I started learning Adobe Illustrator and been doing brand design too, so that's been really fun. So if any of you are visual artists, wow, I love what you do. Specifically, I'm a singer-songwriter. I am a Meisner grad, which is a technique in acting. I majored in theater in college, and I just absolutely love any type of performing. And I know that as an artist, you just know that like there's really no other option than to do our art. And so that's why when Jill and I were talking about this workshop, it's like, let's find a way that we can all do what we love as much as possible. If any of you are into spirituality manifestation, it's like it would be a disservice to the world to not do what we love. And I believe we all should. So I have a BA in theater from James Madison University. Like I said, acting grad in this Meisner acting technique at the William Esper Studio in New York City. I've done some regional theater work, singer-songwriter. I've done a few tours, and I also have a YouTube channel, and I have a content design studio full time. So I do my creativity in multiple different ways and facets, and that's what we're going to talk about. Because I think when we get started, especially for me, I kind of had this like mindset of if I don't like, there's either being a full-time artist or like I failed and I'm not. And I think a lot of that are the people around us, society kind of telling us like, well, what's your backup plan? What's your plan B? And I want us to have a kind of different perspective on what that means. So it's great to meet you guys. So why now? I want you to know, like I mentioned, your service as an artist means that you could be making money and working in these dream roles. And this is the service that your art is bringing not only to other people, but to yourself. Like seeing your art as a service. can help you see that your art can be put into multiple different mediums in your life where you might have a full-time job, you might have a day job, you might be a freelancer, you might be doing something a little bit in like kind of in your creativity, or like bartender and trying to do the art full time. But when we can see that our art is a service, we can start blurring the lines between like, well, that's my day job and this is my art. And we can start seeing like, take away this ego of the labels and see like we are doing our art in more facets of our life than we think. And also redefining like what is being a full-time artist right now. So I want to do a 3-minute quick exercise with you. It's a reframing exercise. I'm going to play a little bit of music so we have some vibes going for us. But if you just have a sheet of paper, even like your Apple Notes or Notion Doc or Google Doc, or if you're driving on the road or anything, you just need to do it in your head really quick. That's okay too. But I do find the art of writing it down can be really, really helpful. I want you to write down 3 gut beliefs about being an artist and reframe them in language that works for you. So, an example, there might be things popping in your mind right now, like being an artist will never pay the bills like a full-time job will. Or something I heard a lot is like, oh, well, you're a starving artist. Like even joking when I talk to other people, oh, you must be a starving artist, right? So things that we're hearing that are a little bit negative as an artist, and just a complete reframe in that, even if it feels crazy or silly to say, like, I can make artist, I can be an artist and make that a full-time income, or I can be an artist and not be starving. Even if like you don't quite believe that, just putting it out onto paper, like I mentioned, can be really helpful. So I'm going to put 3 minutes really quickly on the clock and just play a little song. Open that something up. Maybe do 3. If any more come to you, that's totally fine. But just make that practice of writing down negative things that you feel like come at you or you say to yourself. And even if they feel weird, 3 direct reframes, kind of, I don't want to say opposing it, but 3 reframes that speak a little bit against them. So I'm going to play some music. Let me know if you can hear this. Everyone hear that? Okay. I'll put 3 minutes on the clock.
Oh, why would you try to be so unkind? Your laughter echoes in my head. Leave it alone, leave it alone, leave it alone. I'm reminded. Don't forget about the day. If I could go on with you by my side, would you be so unkind, so unkind? You could do all the talking, just speak your mind, free your mind.
All right. How do we do? I'd love to hear if you want to unmute or stick it in the chat. What are some things that came up for you?
I I had I didn't get to all three reframing, but for the negative things, they kind of ran into each other. But I had being an artist. Oh, it must be fun, you know. We'll have this perception of you're slacking off. It's not real work. You're lazy. And that was the one I just got to reframing. And I said, being an artist is not easy and is real work. And you can enjoy what you do. Just because it's art, people have that perception. And the other two negative things that I had to kind of bleed into that is being an artist is a hobby, not a job. And you will never make it as an artist, so why try?
Hmm. I absolutely love it. I love that you said to like, I think I'm dealing with this right now. Like feeling like I'm not allowed to have fun. Like I have friends and people in my community where, I think the cool thing in America is like my job sucks. I hate my job. Like can't wait till Friday. And so it's weird to be like, I actually love what I do. So I love that reframe for you was no, you're allowed to have a job that has fun, not necessarily, well, art can be stressful sometimes, which it can. But I love that you said, well, no, well, art's allowed, you're allowed to have fun with it. I love that. I love that. Yeah. Um, Yeah, I got a message too. I think it might have accidentally been sent private, but no matter what, my artistic voice comes from me, and that can never be taken away or disputed. My art voice expression is my truth, so I need to remain comfortable with rigorous honesty. Yeah, yeah, I need to maintain that balance. It could be a profession and garner income. Yeah. However, expressing my art also brings me comfort and the most natural sense of peace in my being, and it's just it's interesting. I don't want to put like a specific word on it, but I just find it interesting the awareness that like society, whatever we may call it, lots of people in our lives normalize this idea that like we need it, the jobs that suck make more money, like the finance jobs are hard and but they make more money, so that's the trade-off. So it just something to think about. I know that when I was writing the reframes as well, it feels weird for me. Like for me, for example, like I said, the gut belief was uh, you have starving artist, you're an artist, you have to be starving. And even saying like I can make a lot of money and be an artist, and like the title says, like not necessarily be famous too. There's this whole weird thing with like there's I think for me, I get asked when I say like, "Oh, I'm a singer and I act," and they're like, "Oh, what have I seen you in?" And I'm like, well, I don't think you've seen me in anything." And it's interesting that like that's the first question you ask. So, trying not to put any blame or shame on outside people, but I'm so glad you shared that, Mike. And yeah, and Static for sending that as well. I appreciate that.
I had a reframe where
Yeah.
I wrote, I can't make enough money with my art. And then I said, there are many ways to make money from art and I can figure it out. I feel like that's part of the key for me is like I can and for helping other artists as well. Like we can figure this out. It doesn't only have to look like you have art in a gallery.
Yeah. Yeah, and with doing that reframe exercise too, I love that you said that because it's like for me writing it down, I feel like, well, I can't write down that I can be an abundant artist, that I can make a lot of money unless I know how to. But I can figure it out. Like who's saying that you need to know how? Um, I'm just admitting someone who says you need to know how. Like it's just the why. I think a lot of speakers I've loved Jack Canfield for a long time. If anyone knows him, he wrote like the Chicken Soup for the Soul books, and he's always like the how's gonna follow, but if you know the why and the what, that's what it is. It's just taking it one day at a time. I love that. Anyone else who had any insights? Give another second. Cool. Well, if you have any more, feel free to drop them in the chat. That's very open. So three kind of steps. Obviously, there's so many ways that we can make money from our art. But like I mentioned at the beginning, I like to combine manifestation and systems in here. So the first step that I want to talk about is identifying the creativity in all facets of your life. Well, and like I said, like there's money, like we see there's money, there's the full-time job, or there's being an artist. You can't have both. I think that's what so many people in society say, like the hobby thing. I think Mike said that. It's not just a hobby. And I think people also, we get the feeling that we're I don't know. I think people might make us feel like, well, we're like indulging too much in life if we think we can be an artist and we're not practical enough. It's like you can't have both. And this like starving artist trope saying that there's kind of two different identities that we have. I feel a similar way. Like I worked in corporate. I don't know if anybody does, but sometimes it can feel like there's the corporate version of us and there's the artist version of us. And if when we're not making money from the artist version, it means like we're late or we failed or we're not doing enough. And so this mindset shift in step one of like seeing the creativity in all different facets of your life is the first step to understanding that like we can be full-time artists and it not look like having, being Emma Stone or being like a famous artist that I can't think, like a visual artist that I don't know any names of right now, but it's not necessarily looking like what their life might be. Yeah, like we feeling like if we have a plan B, then we've like failed. Or yeah, I think opening up that loop from you having any sort of corporate or freelance job that's outside of the artistry and your artistry is going to help set you free. So I have a little exercise, another 3 minutes. I want you to write down 10 random things you know how to do. Start them with like, I've done X or I know how to do X. You could put this in the same spot you did the first exercise, and then we're going to do something with it. So everything from like, I was a competitive gymnast for 5 years. I know how to braid hair. Random things that you've done that you know how to do that are outside of your art. Think outside of your art. And we're gonna work with that. So I'm gonna put 3 more minutes on the clock. I'll play some music and then we're gonna do a little exercise. All right. I'll let that be our ending time. So you have your list of 10 things. And I say random because I mean they're really not random at all after we do this next exercise, but I want to start showing you that the gap, what you think of the gap in like who you are as a person and who you are as an artist is really not wide at all. So the next thing I want you to do, and I'm going to paste this in the prompt, paste this in the chat rather, paste this prompt in the chat. There we go. I'm going to paste this prompt in the chat for you. If you use ChatGPT or Claude or anything like that, go ahead and open her up. If you don't, I can plug this in for you. And I'm going to give you this prompt. And what it says, let me give it to you in the chat before I say that. Basically what it says is I'm going to give you a list of 10 things about me. I want you to show me how I can use these skills to monetize my work as a ex artist. As a ex artist. Let me rewrite that. I think I made a little error. Both in freelance. Does that make sense? I'm going to give you a list of 10 things about me. I want you to show me how I can use these skills to monetize my work as a basically visual or performing artist, both in freelance work and in corporate. I just resent the right one. So you're going to stick that in ChatGPT or Claude, and I will show you. I'll do this for myself so you can see what I'm doing. And if anybody doesn't have that, again, let me know and I will do that for you. So you go ahead and do that. While you're doing that, I'll do it on my end. And I'm going to give you a list of 10 things about me, monetize my work as I'm going to say visual and performing artist since I do both. But if you just do one, you just say one. Artist and work in corporate, and then drop that list of 10 things. And let me actually open this up where you guys can see it. There we go. All right. So you're going to hit enter. And basically, you're just going to start. This is the beginnings of closing that loop between who you are as a person, who you are, what you've done, like in past business work that might seem like it has nothing to do with art, and you as an artist. Like it's all one. Something that I've realized is that like you as an artist, I've separated myself for so long. Me as a singer-songwriter, like I changed my name. My name is not Kira Violet. It's Kira Gavalakis. And so I was like, I need a different name because there's Kira Gavalakis, the corporate girl, and then there's Kira Violet, the artist. But what I realized is it's all one. So not sure why it's giving me multiple different things. I think sometimes ChatGPT likes to test things. So I'll just read one of the responses. And yours might look a little bit different based on if you have a custom GPT. But basically, it's giving me some ideas on how I can use those seemingly random things to apply to my life and to apply to my art. So for example, I did gymnastics. I could talk about doing corporate wellness and performance coaching because I love interior design. I could talk about like, oh, maybe I can have like a design studio or work at an interior design office. And that's something that kind of ignites my creativity, but things like gymnastics, that's not as much. That's still something that even though there's not 100% creativity in that, I guarantee that the majority of the things you wrote down still infuses some of your creativity, like you as a person, your artistry in it. And so I'm hoping that this little exercise can help you see that, like, for me as a pet lover, corporate pet friendly programs, like, there's such random, funny little things that I had never even heard of, that if I'm trying to find a way to monetize my creativity, I can use this to start jumpstarting this. And this all goes back to, again, the concept that like, just because you are not fully monetizing, let's say you're a visual artist, let's say just because you're not fully monetizing like yourself, your work as an artist, your paintings, does not mean that you still can't be a full-time artist, a full-time creative. You get to define that for yourself. And what that is, it's infusing your creativity in like all of the work that you do. So if anybody has any like interesting things that you got from ChatGPT or Claude, throw them in the chat or unmute. I'd love to hear it. I got some funny ones. Any funny ones? Any interesting ones that you hadn't heard of before? Jill got making pop-up books, freelance, create bespoke pop-up books for special occasions like weddings. I love that. Corporate,
Yeah,
work
that's
with
a
com
cool idea.
yeah, work with companies to create pop-up books that tell their brand story. Yeah. I love using ChatGPT and Claude to brainstorm when I feel stuck. And I know everyone in here are artists, and so there's this kind of weird thing between like being an artist and AI and like where's the line? So I hear that fully. There's things that I don't feel comfortable using AI for when it comes to songwriting or other things, but I think because we're small business owners, having it be a springboard for ideas like this can be super helpful. So yeah. Any other interesting things that someone got? You want to pop in the chat or unmute? Your funny one, Amanda. Unique angle. Artist engineer hybrid. Market yourself as the bridge between vision and regulation. I love that. I saw you unmute. I don't know if you have anything to say about that.
Oh, yeah, I thought it was funny. I've never heard artist and engineer in the same sentence.
Yeah. Yeah. I I think there's so much to do with that. And if you explored it further with ChatGPT and being like, well, what could I do on a freelance basis? Like, what can I do on a corporate basis with that? It's interesting to kind of be like, well, oh, there's other people doing something like that. Or, whoa, no one's doing something like that. Like both sides could be really interesting. And as artists, we are carving our own paths, and it can be really, really fun to see what we come up with and see like what other people aren't doing. Maybe if we're the first person to do that. I absolutely love that. Cool. All right. Well, let's go to step two. Like I mentioned at the beginning, so now that we have this concept that like our ourselves as people and ourselves as artists bleed into each other. There's no separation. The work we do as artists and the work we do in our corporate careers, in our life, are all one, it's all one melting pot. Now we can kind of see that when we want to take actions to maybe make a few things different in our lives, maybe we are excited about the concept of like, what did I say? Flower arranging, artist engineer. Maybe that isn't something we want to do in our end goal, and that's totally fine. And that's what step two is for, because manifestations and systems are your best friend as an artist. Manifestation, and I say these both together because manifestation alone, and when I say manifestation, I mean like visualization and having affirmations and energetics that I fully believe in. Some people think are woo-woo, but I think are very, very powerful. Those alone don't have they usually don't have any action that come out of them. If we just say, hey, I'm going to wake up every day, I'm going to say that this is what I want, and I'm going to hope that it happens. Usually, if we don't actually have inspired action, nothing's going to happen. And then with systems, the other side of this, when we just have systems, we don't have any energy behind it. We don't have like passion and soul. We're kind of just checking off boxes, and it can feel like we're losing sight of why we started this to begin with. So there is a 5-minute journaling exercise that I do every single morning. And I got this from my coach, Pia Silva. So I'm not taking it as my own. I want to share it because I just think it's so magical. I'll drop the questions in the chat. It's something I do every single morning. And I think it's a great way of marrying these two things. And like you can see, systems on the left-hand side, it's like putting things in the calendar. And I think we have all heard of productivity tools like Asana and Trello and Tasks and Notion. We all know that those things can help take action. But then on the other hand, this is my desktop wallpaper on the left-hand side, and I have some affirmations there, and I have edited numbers into my bank account that are not in my bank account right now, but that I really want to be in my bank account. So that's the other side of the manifestation. So when we marry those two, that's when we can start getting closer to, yes, we can be full-time artists now, but like the deeper version of the full-time artist we really want to be. So there are 4 questions in this 5-minute journaling exercise. The first one, I'll drop them in the chat first. And this will be our last little exercise where I'll play some music and we'll all do this together. The first question is, what are 1 to 2 sentences about what you're working towards? So I answer this every day, and it's like sometimes it's pretty similar. And sometimes it's kind of different based on what happened the day before. Sometimes I'll have like a really difficult, I don't know, conversation with someone or someone who's not quite aligning. And then maybe like my 1 to 2 sentences about what I'm working towards that day is like, I really want to work with good people. So, but overarching, usually it's like, I really want to, perform and design and make money from that. But it becomes interesting when you do this every single day. The second question is, why do you care about this? Why is this so important? So it gets deeper into that why. Again, the what and the why are important. The how is just, we're taking it day by day, every single, just taking it one step at a time. So why do you care about this? Why is it important? The third question, what are things that you did yesterday that are business and non-business related? And you could say art and non-art related as well, same thing. And that's just a good way of, I think we get so caught up in what we need to do that we don't have time to reflect back and say, wait, what did I actually get done yesterday? And I love that this includes business and non-business because we can also celebrate, I watched a great movie. I made myself lunch. Those are also things to celebrate. So having that all written down on a bullet point list. And then the last question is, what are 1 to 3 things you're going to work on today that's going to move the needle forward in your vision in a big picture way? So it brings it back to that first question. It's like, okay, we know what our vision is. What are like 1 to 3 things that we're going to do that can just move this a little bit forward? And so that's why I say this is such a good combination of manifestation and action because we're like manifesting what we want. We have big picture questions, but we're also itemizing the things that we actually want to get done that'll move the needle forward. So I know I said it's a 5-minute journaling, but I'll make it a little condensed. I'll make it 4 minutes and I'll play a little bit of music and go ahead and write that down. All right, let's go to our next song.
for the one who let me to you, who let me to you. Welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome home. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
All right. How was that? I would love to hear how that felt to write all that down. For me, I always get a sense of relief a little bit when I get to reflect back on what I did yesterday and I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'm not a complete failure. I got things done." Okay. And then having that plan set forward. So I'm curious if that's something that you guys felt too or anything else. It was interesting, but I think it'd be hard to do every day, although I definitely see how it'd be valuable. Interesting. Was it like too long for you to do?
Yeah, part of it was the length, I think, yeah.
Mm.
And I just whenever this is an internal thing, but whenever I
Mm.
take myself away from doing the work, even if it's planning to do the work, I get to feel a little anxious because I feel like I need to
Mm.
be doing stuff. I can't be planning stuff. I got to do it. So it just
Ah,
it's a mindset thing for me.
wow, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. My coach called it like a 5-minute journal because I was like, okay, I can't spend an hour journaling every. I mean, I know people who will spend like an hour every week on Fridays. They'll have like so many prompts to journal. So I like the shortness of it. Um, and I do like that it's like 1 to 2 sentences. Um, but yeah, it was hard for me to get into at first. It, and so I wonder if just even if that, if anyone else resonated with that, if just doing it out loud, like doing it, okay, what am I working towards? This. All right. What do I care? I care about this because I believe the universe rewards everyone who does what they love. What are things I did? I did da 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 da. What are 1 to 3 things? Da 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 da. Maybe 30 seconds. Just yeah, just a way to reflect on the things that we did yesterday. I think is we have imposter syndrome so much as creatives, at least for me, that again, sometimes I think we can get caught up so much in, yeah, oh yeah, we can do it out loud. We can get caught up so much in like, I'm never moving forward. I didn't do anything yesterday. But even writing down like business and non business things I did yesterday, I wrote down yesterday, I watched a great movie. I had great calls with people. And so there were like 7 things that I did that I wrote down or I said out loud that I didn't even realize if I hadn't just taken that time to reflect. So thanks for doing that, guys. I don't know where my last slide is. I have words on here. Basically, the last slide on here is I want you to make. There we go. Oh, there's some animation added onto that. Step 3 is I want you to make your first $100. And this goes back to the exercise we did at the beginning with ChatGPT of if you're already doing work, right? Now, if that exercise was just to help you reframe, like, okay, I have a corporate job and it's very far from what I'm doing creatively, but the skills that I have as an artist can help me infuse some of that. If that's all you got is just infusing some of your creativity in the corporate job you do, that's incredible. You can keep making money from that, right? If there are some other avenues that you're like, I wanted to start freelancing or maybe I can lean a little bit more into this on my business. Or, I have the corporate job, but now that I have this new mindset, I want to make my first $100 in my art. That's the next step. And I say that because I think we can get so overwhelmed. I did first when I started my YouTube channel. I was like, I can't start my YouTube channel until I have a blog, and I can't have a blog until I have a website. I can't have a website until I learn web design. I can't learn web design until I have a brand. And all of a sudden, everything becomes, I need to do this to do this. I need to do this. And all of a sudden, we're 3 years in, and I'm like, I haven't made any money. I haven't started my channel. So the mindset of like, let me just make my first $100. Like we were saying, just taking it day by day, not needing to know how I do this. All we need to know is, how can I make that first $100? That's going to look different to you than it will to somebody else. But starting to just prove it to yourself can show that, okay, this is worthy of really investing in. I'm worthy of investing in. The tweaking can come later. Going back again to that list of skills from step one, just start taking them into action, using that 5-minute journaling to figure out how you're now going to make that first $100. I think Amanda said that is me. I can't remember where you sent that, but yes.
Stuff about how you can't do this until you do this, and
Yep.
you can't do that until you do that.
Yeah, we joke it. Yeah, it's Random Thoughts by Amanda. It starts out as one thing, and I'm like, I really need to focus on opening up my Shopify site,
Right.
but I need to do this first, or I need to do that. And there was somebody I saw the other day, and I was like, oh, that rings so true. She's like, you got to just do it. You can't wait for it to be perfect. You just got to start.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's I say this a lot on my channel. I feel like repetitive. I'm like, I know it sounds cliche, but, and then I say something really cliche, but it's like, there's a reason why it's cliche, because it's so simple, but it's so true. Like we are, and it goes back to, we care so much. We care so much about the work that we do. We have so much integrity about our art that any change, any compensation that we have about it, all of a sudden we're like, oh my gosh, no, but like, that's my baby. Like, I'm okay with compensating with like something else, like work or whatever. But when it comes to my art, like, this is why I live and breathe. But it's kind of like, I don't want to say it's kind of like parenting, because I'm not a parent. I'm a pet parent. It's kind of like pet parenting or parenting, knowing that like, we're going to make mistakes. We're going to do the wrong things. And, I'm just going to keep going because I love this. I love them. And I know that showing up for myself every day is going to be the best way for me to keep moving forward. And I have little checks for myself. Like, if it's C plus or better, post it. If it's C plus or better, release it. If it's C plus or better, do it. Because your C plus is always going to be someone else's A minus. Like, the things you're looking at. I mean, when I record myself for self tapes and I'm like, oh my gosh, my nose looks so weird, and no one's looking at, like, they're looking for something totally different because other people have had totally different experiences in their lives. They're coming at it at a different perspective. They haven't looked at your face forever like you have. So just starting and welcoming in the imperfection, because that's also why we're artists and we don't generate, AI is perfect. And there's a reason why people come to us, because they're like, we want to see the cool brush strokes, that like, you did that a little differently over here than you did here. AI can't do that. So why not make your path like that too, your journey like that, and just embrace it. Like, you can be clenching your fist through it and then just still be like, oh, I'm gonna post it. I posted a podcast episode of 2 days ago, and it was so obvious that I made so many mistakes. There was a part in it where I go, cut that, okay, and I left it in, and I was just looking back on it and I'm like, and it started getting more and more and more views, and I'm like, but this is it. Like, I just love this too much to worry about. I love this more than I hate the little mistake. So going back to making your first $100, whatever actions that means, and that exercise you had with ChatGPT or Claude, whatever that looks like, if that instigated some ideas, or if that's just you and your freelancing business or your studio or whatever, art work you do, if that's just how can I make my first or next $100? That's the only thing you need to focus on right now. It can be imperfect. You can be imperfect. No one's going to notice. People care about your artistry. People think your art is so cool. I remember I was an extra in House of Cards, and I never mentioned that because I'm like, who cares? Like everyone, that no one cares. And I had a friend and she's like, whoa, 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 you're an extra in House of Cards. Like, I want to see that scene. And so I had to like bring up the scene. I'm like, okay, this is like, maybe this is cool for some people. The things we do every single day is not cool to us because we do it every single day. But even 2% of what we do every single day is so cool to someone else. So please don't rob the world of that. So yeah, thank you so much. Those are the 3 steps. I hope that you got value from this. Like I said, I have a YouTube channel that I post to. I try to do it every week, and I also have a vlog channel. I'll link my email list below where I link out to a bunch of videos and things that I love. And I think my email list is something I just love, staying connected with people and having actual conversations with people via email. So I totally invite you to subscribe to my email list, which is where you'll get updates about my YouTube videos and all the different creative things that I do. And hopefully also what I strive to do is inspire you to be your most creative self, to be your best full-time artist, and to really let your artistry seep into everything you do in life so you can just love what you do every single day. So thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you, Kira. This was great. And I love the inspiration and the encouragement to think about yourself as an artist, and that you're actually doing cool things with that we are all doing, bringing our art to every part of our life.
Mm-hmm.
I want to share this program. I'll share my screen.
Yeah.
This is a new program that we are starting. It's in August. It's on Tuesdays, every Tuesday in August, and it is called the Profitability Blueprint for Women Artists. So this is in person in Cincinnati. So if you're not in Cincinnati, we don't have an online version of it quite yet. But this is so it's a 4-week session, as I mentioned, and it's all about helping you get the confidence. You'll learn from other successful artists how to get the confidence, and actually more than the confidence, like the steps, how to market your art, how to price your art, how to manage production, how to manage customer service, all the different ways you can make money from your art. It's a really powerful program. So I just wanted to make sure everybody knew about it. And if we have any women artists in Cincinnati area, you are hereby invited to join us. Does anybody have any questions to finish up? Thank you so much to everyone for joining us. Kira, this was wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I will include the link to your email newsletter when I send out the replay.
Thanks, everyone. It was so great to do this.
So
Thank you,
good.
Jill, and thank you, everyone else.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye all.
Thank you.
you.
Bye.